life can be difficult sometimes. We all make mistakes. We sometimes do things that we shouldn't have done. We say things we shouldn't have said. But one thing that I've come to realize is that there is one crucial thing that can change the experiences that sometimes we face in life, and that is owning up to our actions. My name is Jennifer K.O. I'm a conscious living coach. And today, I want to start by telling you a very brief story that not only changed the perception of how I see things in life, but also taught me a very important lessons of being accountable in everything that I do in my life. So this story started with, it was when I was in a school as a student in my diploma doing a civil engineering. And it happened with one of the lecturers that I couldn't, or I wasn't expecting such thing. But however, he was the one that happened to be the one that stimulated this event, that it taught me this big lesson in my life. This lecturer was a very good friend to my cousin-in-law. While he was supporting me in my studies in the first year and the second year, but in the middle of the second year is when he started introducing not very visible sexual habits, but he just started saying or complimenting in how I was doing in my studies, and also mentioned how he was much interested in me. Completely, I didn't take it seriously. And I never thought, because he seemed older and I was younger, way younger more than him. So I couldn't think in any other negative way. I thought it was just a compliment and he was just saying maybe what he was feeling. But I didn't think he meant something or sexual relationship. However, to cut the story short, as it went on, second year finished, third year almost finishing, then this became a little more serious. Then he wanted to start having catch up with me. The only thing, even though I completely had no idea in that moment of what I was exactly doing, the only thing I was sure about is that I didn't want to be in any sexual relationship with my lecturers or any of the lecturers. And then when he continued, wanted to see me, I tried to organize coffee catch-ups. I never accept any one of those. Not only was it because I didn't want to go out with him, it's just because I wasn't ready at that moment. Because I wanted, or I have planned by that moment to only focus in my studies. So as time went off, we sat for exam, about to finish our third year. And in the middle of the exams, before I have sat for his subject, he called me on the side. And then he wasn't even the friendly lecturer that I knew. He was a completely different person. Now he needed, but at that time, to give me the message personally so I could understand. He told me clearly that he wanted to marry me. And I mentioned to him that I wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't even thinking about such thing. And that there was no any type of relationship that I was going to do more than teacher-student relationship with him. He laughed. And with that laugh and smile that he gave, I didn't believe that he was seriously about it. So as time went far, we finished the exams. He tried to keep in contact with me, even though after finishing my exam, I had to relocate from that place that I would live in the town And as I went to another different town, he tried to keep communication with me. He would chat me, he would call me, but because of what his intention was to me, I really tried my best to avoid his contacts. I wouldn't take his calls. If he sent messages, I would maybe reply with a very normal tone, not to be harsh. After days, he never stopped. He never gave up. He was the first person that called me to tell me about our results. And surprisingly, he mentioned to me that I failed his subject. And mind you, that was the very last exam. It was in my last year, something that I wasn't expecting. Through the hardship I've had in studying, but intentionally he did it. And when he mentioned to me as the first person to give me those news, I had no idea that he could do such thing. But I asked myself, how did I fail this exam that I'm so good at? This is my most favorite subject, and I'm so good at it. Anyway, taking things positively as I usually do, I didn't want to blame or didn't want to blame myself. I just told myself, it's okay, Jennifer, you're going to sit back for this exam. Now I went back to sit for that exam. When I sat back for that exam, the results came again. I failed for the second time. Now we had 3 only chances. Once you have failed the first exam, the last exam, you can only sit for 3 chances. Now the first one was gone. I was faced by the second one. The second one, when it came differently. It came that I failed the 2 subjects. And I wondered, how comes the first results didn't come with only failed 1 subject, and the second one, it has come with 2 subjects. So following up, I'm paying in different locations. It was really hard. And by that time, I've gotten a job. I was already working. So I had to follow up. When I followed up, what they told me is that I did not fail the first subject that I did. I sat for exam. Rather, I failed the second one that had come to this second result. I was confused, as probably you might be confused even listening to this. But I didn't want to give up. And just to let you know, I have kept all doors to myself. I did not open it to any of friends or parents. So it was just a little secret keeping it. And then I faced the second chance. So when I went, they cleared the first one. I had to do the second subject that wasn't on the first result. As I start for that one, I went back to where I was working. Again, he was in contact, the very first one to give me results. He called me again. He said, the results are back. Unfortunately, you have failed again. Now, another confusing part. It wasn't both those 2 that have sat exams. It was a different one. And by that time, it was his own subject. And I was confused. I was furious. I had to go to the principal. I have to follow up with everyone. So I followed up and they said it was all mistakes. The first exam you sat for, you didn't fail. The second exam you sat for, you didn't fail that either. That it was now the third one that is the real subject that I failed. And I was like, how is this even possible? How is this happening to me? Why is all these mistakes happening to me? Now, if you're born in Africa, sometimes you know how our systems are completely broken. I simply didn't have anyone supporting me, or not even anyone showed to have interest in hearing my case. So I still had to do it by myself. But this time, this was a 3rd chance and last one. So I have a faith in God as a Christian. I prayed a lot. And I asked God to show me a way. I didn't know what to do. The last 3 years of struggle, of suffering in studying, and now this is what is happening. I was like, what am I going to tell my parents? But again, so I believe God answered my prayers. I was having friends, a very casual friend with me, whom turned to be the help in that moment. And then I had to explain, like I had to talk to someone. When I explained my situation, because I was completely out of myself, I had to explain to him and mention to him what was going on in my life. And he was like, why would you keep this secret? You shouldn't have said this earlier. And I was like, this is my last chance. I do not know what to do, and I don't know what would happen. If I lose this, that means I have never gone to school. So he assured me that he was going to do to help me. The first question he asked me was, is everything you are telling me correct? Are you sure you have never have different interests or any other type of relationship with this lecturer? And I said, no. I have been always have the same answer. No, no, no. He asked me a second time. He said, Jennifer, if you want this case to be checked, because we will have to do more of further investigation, so you need to be clear. If you have somewhere have maybe being manipulated by this man in any way and following his ways, you need to let me know. And yet my answer was no, I haven't done anything more than this. I haven't caught up with him. I haven't been with him anywhere place more than our college. I haven't gone or have different conversation. I have all the records, phone calls that I do not take, messages, and even how my replies are. And then he said, you are good to go. Now I want you to study really hard. Make sure that you're not failing this subject. And I want you to go back to that college, go sit for that exam, and leave the rest to me. Of course, as I walked into the college, I had no idea what was going on. But this friend of mine had to speak with other people of, I think, even higher authorities until today. To tell the truth, I do not know. But people had to come in and investigate this case and everything that was happening on that college. To my surprise, a lot of those cases were happening underground, which I have never knew. Many ladies like me were going through a lot to have to pass exams. They had to go through other different things, sexual relationships with the lecturers. But what I want to tell you today, I wasn't saved in that case just because of what happened. It was just simple thing of being honesty, and which I came to realize later that it was it's the accountability. The honest comes with accountability of knowing that this is what I want. This is what I want out of this life or out of what I am doing now. And nothing is going to change my view. Nothing is going to change me until I reach to that focus that I'm looking for. And that's exactly what I'm going to be speaking with you today. Accountability, or taking accountability, it simply means to acknowledge your mistakes, to be aware of your actions, and not only that, to also be aware of the impact of those mistakes that you have done or the actions that you are doing, that to be aware of those impacts that is happening or is causing to the other people surrounding you. So that little event taught me that if you could want maybe a different experience in your life, it is simply by owning up to your actions, understanding what could be the result of this action that I'm doing today. What could this action cause into other people, your loved ones, your colleagues, your friends and family? And that by understanding that, now you can acknowledge and understand that this is not taking me to the way of life that I want. And if I want to change it, it simply has to come back to and change your actions. And I will want to ask you a question today. What is it that you are looking in life, and how has your actions has been aligning with those things that you say every day or you pray about every day that you need to achieve in life, or ways that you want to go in life? And so if you want, or if you're asking yourself, how can I begin this journey of being accountable, taking accountability of my actions? I simply want to tell you that there are 2 steps that you might follow. The very first step is acknowledging your mistakes. Acknowledge everything that you have come through or everything that has come across you in life. But also, most importantly, forgive yourself if you find or realize that you have done a mistake somewhere. Forgive yourself sincerely. And also apologize. Apologize if opportunity given to those that your actions have impacted in a negative way. Sincerely, no excuses, no justification. It has to come from your heart. And the second step, it will be amending your actions. Amending your actions is simply following up everything that you do. Realizing, be aware. Build awareness to everything that you're doing. Every action, it shouldn't come subconsciously. Try your very best to be conscious about everything that you do. Because every act brings results. And the results of those lives, results of the things that we see, has come from our actions. And if you want that to change, simply has to be you changing your actions. So once you amend those, your life will simply change. We all do mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But the only thing that sets us apart is the ability to learn from those mistakes that we do and to grow. Give us opportunity to grow as individuals. That's why